Hi everyone, Sabrina here from Scrappy Tales Crafts, and today I'll be showing you part 2 of my 10 cards, 1 kit I made using the August 2018 Hero Arts card kit. So for card number 6, I wanted to create a one-layered card. So I'm going to do some masking again. As you can see, this is my second attempt because it requires some extra thinking for me. But I'm going to first stamp out this little kitty that shows its back. And I thought it would be cute to make her look like she was climbing over the coffee cup. So I'm going to stamp her, place her mask on top, and then I'm going to use the cup mask to kind of lay out where I want the stamping to go. And then I will stamp that out. First place on the mask and then stamp. Okay, and here I make a mistake, but to me it looks fine. I actually didn't notice it until I started coloring, but I probably should have stamped the dog's body before stamping the cup. Like I said, it's like rocket science for me to figure this out, but to me it looks fine. So the next thing I'm going to do is stamp out the little cat's face poking out of the mug and also the dog. And this stamp set I'm using is from Art Impressions. I've used it so many times. It's such a cute line. They have a few different animals. And if you don't have this stamp set, you can, find some animals in your stash that might work. But these were really perfect because it has the backs of them and the front. And I will color these images with my zigs, so I am stamping on Bristol paper. I'm going to stamp out my last mug. And then the fun part is removing the masks, and I was very happy with myself. Second attempt, and I got it. I think I'm learning. So I wanted to put the sentiment that says a hug in a mug and the heart in the other glass. And that's going to complete the stamping. So I'm going to take my zigs. Oh, first I heat embossed all of this because 1, I didn't want it to smear, and 2, it kind of gives me a well to keep my color inside the lines. So I am sort of taking inspiration from that shaker card I made in part 1. I thought that this would be a cute match since they're both kind of like friendship cards. So I am using the same color scheme. So I did hot pink, and now I'm going to do a lime green coffee cup. I'm not going to show you all the coloring just because you saw it in part 1, and I will include it a little bit in part 2, but not a lot. And with zigs, I like to just use 2 markers, and then I'll leave a white space in the middle, and that sort of acts as my highlight when I go over the whole image with my water brush. Okay, this little kitty is going to be gray, like my Lucy. It's very rare that I won't color a cat gray. She is my inspiration behind the logo in the beginning of all of my videos. And currently she's wearing the cone of shame because she has a wound on her ear and she keeps scratching it open. And so I bought her a little cone that's really soft and it like folds flat and she can sleep in it. It's like a pillow. And the first few days she had it on, she was like, obviously mad. But now she's like strutting that thing and she should be able to get it off soon, hopefully. The cat that's climbing over the coffee cup is going to be orange, and I added some stripes onto him. And fun fact, most orange cats are males. It's very rare to find a female orange cat. I know a lot about cats. I'm a crazy cat lady, so. That dog in the top is going to be brown, and this little dog is going to be a golden retriever, like my Bailey. I have a fat golden retriever too. 4 cats and 1 dog. Okay, so I'm done coloring. I cut that out with a stitched rectangle. Now I'm going over the entire image with this blue marker, kind of giving it an outline, and that just kind of draws the eye in. And I really like it. I've seen other people do it, so I do it a lot when I work with zigs. And it kind of ties in the whole scene together. I did go over that with my water brush to blend it into the white. I matted it onto some pink glitter paper and then onto my card base. Now I'm going in with my Wink of Stella pen just over the animals, and that's going to complete card number 6, almost a 1-layer card. And card number 7 will be my first Halloween card. So I'm going to die cut a few of the images from the kit, a stitched rectangle, those little tiny pumpkins that are from a Gina Marie cactus die set, and then also these dies from the Lawn Fawn Booyah stamp set. And then I'm going to take the brown panel and emboss that with my wood grain embossing folder. I think this is my favorite. I've used it in so many cards. And I wanted to stamp a face onto this mug again. I thought the Christmas one was so cute. I decided to do a Halloween version. And this cup is going to be colored in deep purple shades. This cup is going to be a little vampire, so that's why I decided to add the bat wings behind. I'm going to color the stripe at the top of the cup in black, and then I will also color the bat wings in black. And the die cut is cut in a way where you could add glue off to the side and just tuck it behind any image that you want. And I think that looks super cute, and of course I have to add Google eyes. I think that adds so much character and whimsy to any image. And for the whipped cream, this one's going to be white with some orange sprinkles. I'm actually going to turn these into cupcakes. I thought that would be cute. The other whipped cream, I guess, or frosting, will be in black. I think I use N8, N6, and N4. I do end up taking the white borders off. I didn't really like how they looked, so off camera I did cut right to the black line. Here you can see that now. And that die I used is from Cottage Cuts. It just cuts the bottom of the cupcake for me. And it also cuts that little heart. I decided to color it in purple and add it to the smaller cupcake. And I'm going to add those little orange pumpkins as sprinkles for this larger black cupcake. Now I wanted my table to have a tablecloth again. So I used a Martha Stewart punch and just made a little, I guess, tablecloth out of just some gray paper. And I decided to add a black and white straw to my purple cup. I will add double-sided adhesive to my table and adhere that down to my orange rectangle. I decided to pop up the cupcakes and the drink. And I think this looks super cute. I love the little Google eyes. I'm going to grab my card base and adhere that down, and then for my sentiment I'm going to take some black paper. Oh, first I'm going to add this gloss, I don't know what it's called, but to me it's like glossy accents to the heart. And for my sentiment I'm going to use some black cardstock and white heat emboss Happy Halloween. And I will hand cut that into a banner shape and add that on the top of the card. And that's pretty much going to complete card number 7. I think this one's super cute. And I liked it so much that I made another Halloween card. I really liked the purple tone, so I wanted to do another purple card. Here's a close-up of card 7. For card 8, I will color another cup in the same purple colors that I did on the last card. And then I'm going to do some black stripes and a black lid. And now I wanted to add some embossing. So this is a Darius embossing folder. I wanted there to be some darker ink so that they would pop out more. So I'm adding some peeled paint distress ink onto the raised side of the embossing folder. And then I ran that through and it gave me some darker eyeballs, and then the background is lighter. So now I wanted to add a coffee sleeve onto this little cup. So I did emboss some stripes. That was probably overkill. You know, I'm all about the detail, but in the end you can't really see it. But I did emboss that with a striped embossing folder. I'm going to add a little green hand cut circle right to the center of the coffee sleeve. And then I added a teeny tiny die cut bat. And these bats are from Sherry Lynn. And they're in a variety of sizes and shapes. I kind of already arranged them off camera. But I'm going to pop up the coffee cup and the lid as if they were flying out. And you can really use any image that can fly out of the cup. You could do ghosts or maybe hearts for Valentine's Day. I decided to use bats because it matched the vampire card I made. I stamped out Have a Fantastic Halloween with some VersaFine ink. I'm going to pop up the stitched rectangle with some fun foam, and then I will glue down the green embossed panel with some double-sided tape. I decided to glue that down onto a purple paper, and then I will glue all of that down onto a 110-pound Mina card base. And that will complete card number 7. This was probably the fastest one I came up with, but I think it's really cute. And for card number 9, I wanted to use the fancy die that came in the kit. So I cut it out of some white Nina cardstock, and now I'm just mapping out where the opening of the window is with a pencil so that I know where to ink blend. Now I'm cutting down some paper into some random, I guess, waves. And this is going to be a cloud stencil. You can also rip the paper, that will give you a cloud texture, but I wanted more bubbly cloud, so that's why I used my scissors. Obviously, if you had a stencil, that would be the best option, but I don't, so I kind of had to wing it. I add the ink to the stencil and then I bring it onto the paper. I am using Bristol. I really like it for ink blending. And I do flip the stencil so that not all the clouds look the same. And at first I thought I just wanted it behind the window portion, but I did decide to bring it down to where the tables were. And this is a really soft and pastel card. I think it ended up looking cute. At the top I added some yellow Memento ink. And here I'm deciding which sign I wanted to use. I decided on the big one. So I'm going to cut that out of some pink paper. And this die is an Elizabeth Craft die. I thought that the sign was too distracting, so I did cut it off. And here I'm going to do some surgery because I wanted to glue back part of that, but not the sign portion. So I'm just using my art glitter glue to attach it back to its place. And now I'm going to grab my sentiment that says "But First Coffee." I really like this sentiment because I think you could send it to a friend and write in the letter that you want to meet for coffee. Okay, so I did white heat emboss the sentiment. And I decided to back the window with some acetate. I think that gives it more of a professional look and clean. So I always tend to do that when I have these fancy dies or if I'm making a window card. So I'm using some 3-in-1 glue. It's really strong and I use it all the time for acetate because you can't see it since it's clear. And I'm going to adhere the cloud stenciled panel right onto my card base. And I use 110-pound Neenah card bases for all of my cards. It's nice, sturdy, bright white cardstock. And then I'm going to pop up the window panel with some fun foam. And I must admit, I always have trouble with the fancy dies that come in the kit just because they're so pretty. You don't need to do a lot with them, but at the same time I want to make a card that's outside the box. And I think this is really pretty. I love the colors, and like I said, the die kind of speaks for itself, so I didn't go overboard with it. In the final card, I did add some pink pearls just to tie in some more pink into the card. For card 10, I did some things off camera, so I did die cut a pink heart and a brown scalloped heart with a Daris die that I had in my stash. I made that pink panel with the text with a stamp that I have from Anna Griffin. I stamped it onto some pink paper with pink ink, and then I ripped the edges and added the same pink ink over the edges. The ink that I used is Rosebud from Memento. And now I'm going to stamp out We Are the Perfect Blend onto the pink heart. And I will adhere that down onto my scalloped heart with some art glitter glue. I did stamp and die cut the latte. I did color that off camera. And I also stamped and cut this mirror from my stash. I thought it looked like a French scene because the text is in French, and I thought it would be cute to have a latte sitting on a newspaper with the mirror off to the side. I thought that was cute. And so now I'm going to use the embossing powder that came in the kit to emboss the heart that goes over the latte. And this embossing powder is really neat. I think it would be nice for snow scenes. And so now I'm going to kind of map out where I want everything to go. I didn't like the white card base, so of course I had to add more layers. I'm going to die cut this scalloped rectangle with some cream paper. And then now I felt like it was too small, so I'm also going to die cut a stitched rectangle with that same brown paper that I used to cut the scalloped heart. But first I'm going to pop up my newspaper. Now I'm arranging my different elements onto the card, trying to figure out which placement I want. And when I put it on my card base, this is when I realized I need some more brown. So I die cut the stitched rectangle and placed it over my card base, and I think that this helps draw your eye into the scene more. And I like how that looks, so I'm going to commit and pop up the coffee cup. And I will adhere the heart with some 3-in-1 glue over the newspaper. And then I will adhere the mirror straight down to my cream panel. And instead of the mirror, you could really do any object that you can see from above, because that's kind of how the latte is stamped out. So I think a calligraphy pen would be pretty, maybe a perfume bottle. Let me see, what else? Books. But I thought the mirror was kind of cute and girly. So I adhered the scalloped panel onto my brown stitched rectangle. Now I'm going to adhere the rectangle onto my card base. And the last thing I'm going to do is go over the whole mirror with the product that came in the kit that's sort of like glossy accents. I think it's thicker, and I'm not a fan of the tube that it came in. You have to squeeze kind of hard for the product to come out. So I'm going to stick with my glossy accents. But it did give you that same look. Now I wanted to put some more pink pearl, so I'm going to add 3 up to the right hand corner. And that's going to complete card number 10. I think this one's really cute. I love the color combination. If you're interested in buying any of the 10 cards that I created for the August kit, I will have them posted on my Etsy on Monday. So here I'm going to show you all of the cards that we created in part 2. Let me know which one was your favorite. I love reading and responding to all of your comments, and I'm so appreciative of all the new subscribers I've gotten over the past few months. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.